Okay. Auto launched flows. So auto launched flows it exactly behaves like a screen flows, guys, but you will not able to add the screens. That's the only difference. Rest of the elements are exactly same as and also you cannot have any entry criteria like record trigger flows. We were able to select the at what time it should fire right at the time of creation, updation, deletion. Auto launched flows is something like that. Basically, you can have a set of actions. Oh, just a minute, guys. 1 second. Okay. Okay, guys, we have completed screen flows and auto launched flows. So, auto launched flows exactly work like a uh, screen flow. Okay. On click of some buttons, we can call it, or on click of something, we can call it. The only difference is we can't add the screens here. Okay. So let me log into the Arc and I'll show you. I'm just opening up my flows. Okay, this is the flow. I'm trying to select one of the auto launched flow. Okay. So record trigger flow and auto launched flow. The difference is no trigger. In the record trigger flow, there is a trigger. That means whenever some action is happened, then we are triggering it. In auto launched flows, it's not something. From the Apex classes, you can do it. All processes and processes is nothing but the process builders, guys. Okay. Right now, we are not going to use process builder, right? So you can say another flow. From another flow, you can call this auto launched flow. These auto launched flows can be called from screen flows, can be called from record triggered flows, can be called from scheduled triggered flows, guys. Basically, when we use the auto launch flow, whenever we want to set up some reusable steps, and that can be used from the multiple places. That time, basically, we use auto launched flows. Okay. Here, basically, you will not have that screen component. Okay. So here you have some extra wait for conditions, wait for that because this is the sub function, right? If you want to wait for particular time after the main function is executed, if you want to perform some actions, sub actions, then we use this. Okay. Rest of things are common, guys. Create, update, get, delete. Same auto launched flows also doesn't have the rollback option. Okay, like screen flows. So it's majorly the same guys. You can simply say um nobody will ask you too much about the auto launched flows, guys. But basically, auto launched flows exactly work like a screen flows. We can perform, we can perform all logical operations. Only difference is we can't add all logical and data operations. Data operations. Only difference is there will not be any screens. Otherwise, um, no option to add screen. Okay. So basically we use these type of cases for reusable of functions or actions, which we call from other types of flows. That's it, guys. Okay. Nobody will ask you to explain too much about the auto launch flows. So you can just simply explain these two, 3 points is more than enough. Okay. Auto launched flows exactly works like a screen flows. We can perform all logical data and interaction operations. Okay. Interaction is nothing but the sending email alerts, some actions, calling another flow from this flow. Okay. Those are the ones. So the only difference is the no, I mean, we can't add screens. Okay. So that is the thing. Then the last one that you need to explain about when they are asking something, guys, that is scheduled flows. Okay. So scheduled flows, it also exactly behaves same as auto launched flows, guys. But the only difference is we can run this flow on a scheduled time. Okay. Sorry, let me move this. Okay. Scheduled flows exactly behaves same as auto launched flows. On top of this, we can run this flow on a particular time. So if you go to the flow builders and when you click on new flow, select the flow and then just select schedule trigger flow. Okay. So if you click on add elements section, you are seeing the same kind of elements that you can see in your auto launched flow. Okay. Same kind of elements. Like data elements are logical elements or interaction elements. But the only difference is you can select a particular time. Okay, like date and a particular time, and you want to make it as a once daily or weekly. For example, um, let me add some action sending an email alert. Okay, otherwise, submit for an approval. Okay, so you can just do any one of the action. Okay, so this is the record ID that we need to get. Basically, you need to pass the record ID from somewhere, guys, or else you can hard code the record ID. So for right now, I'm the hard coding the record ID. But if you want to pass the record ID, which I have already shown you, right? Except the record triggered flows, for rest all type of flows, you need to pass the record IDs. And how can you pass the record IDs is in the screen flows we discussed. We can go to the lightning pages. We can create a variable here. Okay, like new resource. We can create a variable here, and these variables we can populate from the lightning pages, right? And whatever the variable that I have created, I'm going to pass that variable. Okay, so that whenever you call this flow, it will submit a record for the approval. Okay, so this particular record, that's it. Delete element I'm doing. But this is something I can schedule it. Set a schedule. Okay. So I want to run this. I want to submit this record on today. Okay. Like I want to submit it at evening 6 p.m. Okay, you want to make it as a once, that means only this particular time it will run the flow, or else weekly, daily. That means today 6 p.m. it will send. Again tomorrow 6 p.m. it will send. Like that. It's depending on your requirements, guys. Okay. Basically, the major requirements that we use this flow builder are the delete operations. Okay. So let us assume instead of submit for approval, okay, let me add one of the database operations, delete records. Deleting spam cases. Okay. Specify the conditions. If you would like to pass the case IDs, guys, you can just pass the case IDs. You just need to create the variable and you need to set that variable. If you are calling this from some other places and where you want to pass. No, I don't want to pass anything. I will just set up, I am going to schedule it at this particular time at this particular time, automatically whatever the actions which are configured. Okay. So the case records that we are going to filter it out. So here case status equals to um, it doesn't have spam, guys. Okay. Basically, we haven't do anything like that, right? Oh, for now, I'm going to delete escalated cases. Okay. Click on save. Not only deletion, guys, at particular point of time, if you wanted to update, for example, if the status is escalated, there is a checkbox, escalated checkbox. If you would like to update the checkbox, that is also another scenario. Okay, at particular point of time, if you want to perform any actions, then that is the time we will use this scheduled flows. Okay. So right now what I'm doing is I'm deleting escalated cases. Okay. We would like to delete escalated cases after a certain date. Okay. Okay. Last modified date is less than. If any cases which are escalated and um and, we are in 2025, right? Let us assume which is less than or equals to 2024 6th first. Okay. Any cases which are less than 2024 June, okay, and the status is escalated. It has been 6 months. No action has been taken, right? So that means it's not required to maintain in the database. So these are all simple criteria, guys. We no need to bother about these criteria. At the time of requirements, customers itself tell those criteria. We just need to know how to configure these criteria. Okay. So I wanted to run um, on today 6 p.m. Okay. So here I have the frequency of once because this is only one time job. Another time, another requirements is something like that. Daily, I need to send a notification on these escalated cases. Okay, whenever there is a escalated cases, okay, then I need to send a notification saying that please you have some escalated cases. Please check it out. So in such a scenario, we will use daily. Daily, this job will run. It will get the records where the case status equals to escalated, and then we will just check the condition. Okay, like whether that list is empty or not. In case list is empty, we will not do anything. In case list is not empty, we will send the notification. Okay, that is daily scenario, guys. Okay, so it's depending on different scenarios, we will just select the frequency. So save and activate. Okay. So 6 p.m. automatically this flow will run and it will query all the escalated cases and it will after 2024 6th and then it will delete it. Okay. So we have scheduled it. How do we know whether this ran or not? Okay. So at this particular point of time, it ran or not. How do we know? Okay. That is the one thing. Okay. If you go to your Apex jobs, there is from the setup, there is an option of Apex jobs. Okay. This is the place you will see all your um, data, guys. Okay. Right now we don't have anything here, right? In tomorrow's class, I can show you. It will run at 6 o'clock and there is a record which will get created here. Okay. Before that, let me check, do I have any cases which are in escalated state? select ID comma status from case. I have 23 cases and most of them are closed ones. Okay. Let me just update some new cases to escalated. You can see there is one escalated case. Okay. Now I had set up the data. I have two escalated cases, guys. Tomorrow I'll just come and I'll query the same case records. Okay. Then I'll see zero escalated cases. You can add where status equals to escalated. We have two records. Tomorrow I'll run the same query. You will be seeing zero records because there is a scheduled flow. Um, 1 second. Let me take off the another condition because in the flow, actually, I have to take off last modified condition, guys, because we don't have any old data, right? So if I have this condition, obviously last modified date is not less than this particular date. It's always greater than, right? So either I can give greater than so that it will satisfy. Okay. Save as new version. Okay. So tomorrow, if we see it, we don't see any escalation cases. Also, you will see a record under, setup FX jobs. Okay, from the setup FX jobs. Okay. So using these Apex jobs, we can see all the scheduled actions that ran and status in case of any errors that will display here. Okay. So how can you monitor? I mean, all these scheduled flows, we call it as a like asynchronous flows, guys. That means these are not immediate actions. These are the actions which we are doing on a particular time. Okay. All the asynchronous actions we can see under the Apex jobs. Okay. Yeah. That's it about the scheduled flows, guys. Regarding the scheduled flows, you just need to know it should exactly behave the same way like automation flows. On this, we can run this flow as a scheduled time. Some sample scenarios are delete spam cases weekly. Okay. Delete cases where status is spam. Okay. On weekly basis. weekly on weekly basis. Okay. So the same way, guys. Send notifications on escalated cases. Send email notification when you have escalated cases in last 1 month. Okay. You just need to give the filter criteria is status is escalated and created date is greater than last 1 month. Okay. Like these are the few examples, guys, but this has one limitation. Limitations of screen flows. Okay. If you want to run this flow by hourly, it's not possible. That is one of the limit. We can't schedule an actions by hourly or monthly. For example, I have scheduled some every hour I would like to check and I would like to send the notifications. That is not possible. You have only three options: once, weekly, and daily. Okay. Monthly is not available, hourly is not available. Okay. The second thing, in case of multiple scheduled actions, you can't control the order of the scheduled flow. Okay. For example, I have one scheduled flow which will delete the spam cases, another scheduled flow which will delete the spam accounts, and another scheduled flow which will delete the spam contacts. If I wanted to execute accounts first, contacts first, and then cases, or cases first and then contacts, and at the last of accounts. So such kind of ordering is not possible. We can't control it. We can just schedule it, and depending on the Salesforce availability, okay, Salesforce CPU availability, that means processor availability, they will execute the jobs. We can't guarantee you something like that. This is the screen flow which I have created first, so it will execute first. No, nothing like that. Okay. If it's the same case that you have configured, same time you have configured, still it may get account screen flow first, accounts scheduled flow first, and or it may get cases scheduled flow first. So that is the another limitation. We can't control it. Okay. These are the two limitations, guys. These are the simple scenarios. Any question on this auto launched flows and scheduled flows? At least if you are able to understand at what time we are going to do it, and if you are good with the scenarios, okay, then good. Because these are the few things they expect you in the interviews, guys. You will be hardly getting 5 minutes time to speak about all these flows. They will simply ask you a question. It's simply they'll ask you what are the different types of flows you have worked on. Can you give me some sample scenarios? Okay. Sometimes they will ask you, it's 30% of the stages they will ask you to log into your arc and try to implement one of the scenario. Okay. But most of the interviews they will ask you, can you explain what is the flows and its limitations? That's it. So if you are able to explain the things which we discussed, that is more than enough to answer the question. Okay. Yeah. If you don't have any questions, then I'll show you some example flows, guys. Okay. Okay. Five common Salesforce flow type. Seven examples. So this is also, I mean, we have seen screen flow has some limitations, and we have seen record triggered flow, few things. Schedule trigger flow has some limitations. But basically, right, there are some situations that we should not go with the flows. That is nothing but these 4 points, guys. Okay. The first point is whenever you don't have very good understanding about your business process, that means requirements are not very clear what to do the automation, then don't go with the flows. Okay. Because flows is something works effectively when you have a clear cut requirement. Okay. Then Salesforce flow may not be recommended for highly complex. So this is also something I'm going to keep it here. This much just came. Untold chat. Sorry. I just want to get this much. Okay. So the first point is, guys, incomplete requirements don't suggest flow. Basically, we will not use automations, not only flow, we will not use any automations or anything for the incomplete things. Okay. The second thing is highly complex. Okay. It's something like that they would like to, whenever the account is updated, they would like to update the opportunities, and whenever the opportunity is updated, if they would like to perform some actions on another four or five objects, okay, in turn, it is including 10 to 15 objects. Okay. That means that it's a complicated functionality we are trying to achieve. Okay. Such scenarios also, we will not suggest flows to use, guys. All highly complicated functionalities, we recommend to use the Apex only, because flows has limitations. Like you can, I mean, you can perform only uh, some certain data till certain data only you can execute. Okay. And integration with external system not natively supported by Salesforce. Okay, this is something I told you, right? Uh, I have used this flow to call one of the external system and update the information there, and it was not at all working. Okay, but it not something like that. It will not work every time, but most of the times we will get the response from the external system saying that 500 error, internal server error, like that. You will not see any failure, anything in the flow, but the functionality won't work as expected. So whenever you have to use the integrations and you want to call some other third party system, that is also time. You have to go with the Apex, and flows are not suggested. Okay. One is complex functionalities and another one is the integration scenarios. Okay. Some Salesforce editions like Essentials Professional limit the number of flows processes that you can create. So these are the basic editions, guys. Professional is the basic edition, but most of your organizations we will use the enterprise or unlimited editions. So this point you just give as a add-on. Okay. That means in case if our organization has the limitation on number of flows, then we should not go to flows for each and everything. Okay. High performance and low latency. Okay. High performance is in the sense of when you are dealing with the high amount of data. Okay. Also, if your expectation is, oh, there's a huge data, and if you want to make it as a, for example, from the LWC also, you can call a flow, guys. But calling the flow and getting the results performance wise, that means speed wise also, it is a little bit of more time taking. Instead of that, Apex executes a fast. This is something you can't see the difference much, guys. Okay. But the problem is something like if you use the like on click of button, you want to do some action. Okay. If you opt the I mean, in case of small actions like two actions, three actions, five actions, or some field updates, or like less than 10 actions, okay, flows works very well. But in case if it's a bulk number of actions, like on click of a button, I need to send almost email notifications to different scenarios, like different 15, 20 scenarios. I'm sending the email notifications. Yes, you can configure those 20 scenarios in the flows and you can send the email notification. But the problem is this is the high performance usage. Okay, it's not one or two notifications, it's 20 notifications that we are going to send. So it's better to use Apex because there is a huge work and you can clearly see the difference between the page load, guys. Okay, in case if you have more flows and for the high demand projects, then your page loading will take a lot of time. That's the cases. Whenever the project is huge project and the functionality is very complex, that is the case, we will not use the flows. That is the case, obviously, we will use the Apex coding technologies, which gives us more performance. Okay. You just need to explain these four things. That's it. Yeah, these are the four things that we have discussed. Schedule trigger flows, auto launcher flows, screen flows, and record trigger flows. Okay. And platform event triggered flows, guys. I have given you a small info on platform events, right? That is also like a custom object kind of thing, but third party systems can create the records. Whenever a call is happen from the integration scenario, we can create the things, but you can just make it as an optional and you can say, I did not get an opportunity to work with that. If you are able to answer these four types of flows, that is more than enough. Okay. So the main concepts and the key components that we have discussed: elements, connectors, resources. Okay. Resources is nothing but we have seen, right? Variables, constants, and we can create some formula fields. Those are all nothing but the resources. Elements are nothing but the data operations, interaction operations. Okay. Connectors is nothing but just plus symbol that we are seeing, right? That is the thing. Interaction elements, logical elements, data elements. Okay. So these are some limitations, but it's not for our org, right? Okay. Basically, for the developer org, you can create professional editions and developer org. Professional, it's just 5. Okay. All other editions, it's 2000, 4000. So that is more than enough. Okay. This is some limitations of the flows, guys. For example, if you used SOQL queries, that means get thing, okay, or get accounts operation we have, right? Not only get accounts, get record operation. So get record operation will come as part of the SOQL operation because we are querying the records, right? Maximum we can use 100 get records. Okay. And then DML statements. Maximum we can use 120. DML is nothing but create, update, delete. Okay. Maximum we can use 120. Okay. Because of these limitations only, we are telling don't go with the flows in case of large functionalities. Okay. And total number of records retrieved is 50,000. Okay. In case you return a get accounts, but if you have more than 50,000 accounts, okay, that is you have to you I mean in case of more than 50,000 accounts, your flow is going to break. Okay. There's no way that uh, you can limit it also. Okay. So that's the reason. You can apply the filter criterias, and you if you have the filter criterias, then obviously you can reduce the records. But after applying the filter criterias also, if you have more than 50,000 records that you are getting as part of the flow, then the flow is going to break. Okay. Like DML statements is nothing but the whenever you are trying to create the records, okay, that means create record is something like that. As part of the create record, at a time you can insert 10,000 rows, or at a time you can insert 1,000 rows or 500 rows. But coming to the DML statement counts, it's one only. But the number of records which are inserted as part of the statement is 100. Okay. Like you can insert 10,000 records as part of the create statement, or you can update 10,000 records as part of the update statements. Okay. But it is something like that if you have one create statement and one update statement, guys, a combination of both create and update should be equals to 10,000. Okay. Transaction is in the sense of when the flow is started from the execution to end the execution. Okay. That is nothing but a transaction. So CPU timeout and this is the duplicates. You just remember the numbers, guys. CPU timeout is whatever the transactions. Okay. Transaction is nothing but the flow execution starts to end is one transaction. Okay. So this also transaction limits. Okay. This is also we have to remember. So limits for the transaction. The first limit is the SOQL queries. So here example is get record operation. Okay. DML statements. Okay. This is nothing but create, update, delete operations. Okay. This is the second one. And third one. So total number of records that is happened SQL. That means when you click on the get record operation, that it queries one SQL query is used. But if you retrieve 20 records, okay, maximum you can get 50,000 records. In case if after applying filters and all, okay, after applying filters, if the if records retrieved are more than 50,000, more than 50,000 as part of your get record operation, then flow is going to break. Okay, so in such situation also, we should not use. So these are all limits, guys. To simplify these limits, in case the simple statement that we have seen previously is in case of complex process, don't use flows. Why? Because of these limits. Because of these limits, don't use flows in case of complex process. Okay. And the fourth one is the maximum records that you can process as part of create or update or delete DML statement is 10,000. Okay. And the next one is the CPU timeout, guys. This means whenever you perform some operation, right? Create operation, update operation, delete operation, or get operation. So if the time is more than 10,000 milliseconds, that means 10 seconds. Okay, whenever it is going to cross 10 seconds, still if your operation is not completed, then the flow is going to break. But basically you will not see this thing, guys, until and unless you are dealing with a large number of data and multiple, you will get CPU timeout error in case anything you are continuously doing in a loop, guys. Otherwise, normal operations, it works well. For example, I'm updating the account will update the contacts, and again when you update the contacts, again it will fire the account update. When you update the account, again it will fire the contact update. So in case of looping, obviously it's a never ending process, then you will get CPU timeout exceptions. Okay. And there is no way that, it is very difficult to control CPU timeout exceptions in flows. Okay. That's the reason that's the another limitation of the flows. And when you are working with the Apex also, we are going to have the same limitations, guys. But Apex coding has some more advanced topics like asynchronous Apex, asynchronous jobs. Using those ones, we can overcome these limitations. Okay. We can handle the code. We can control the code. Okay. Um, to not to hit these limits, but that kind of control we don't have on the flows. That's the reason for small normal functionalities we use flows. In case of bulk large difficult functionalities, we have to go with the coding. Okay, going to give you a small pause here, guys, or just to know any questions on limitations and transaction limitations. So transaction is nothing but when you click on the button, a flow will execute and it will perform the required actions and flow will get finished. That is nothing but the transaction, guys. From the execution to finish, it's a transaction. Okay, let me just copy this URL to So, how to create a flow in Salesforce? Okay, it's the same thing that we discussed, guys. Flows, new flow, create. Okay, and we just need to add the elements, save the flow, activate and distribute. I mean, we use activate. Okay, if you want to share this flow with someone, then we will use the distribute, but most of the times we will not use that thing, guys. Then examples of the flows. So I have given you few examples, right? Here they have mentioned some more example. Post a specific record updates on a charter. That means whenever you update something on the record, that will get posted into the charter. Okay, this is one of the scenario. So here you can see how that is implemented. Okay, finally how it looks like. So if you update something, opportunity closed in 1 week and you are closed by this way. Okay, and another example is the first one is the example of the record triggered flow. Okay, second one is the example of the screen flow to get information from other objects. Okay, so this is another screen flow. So matching records in your flow to deal with duplicates. Okay, this is also record triggered flow. Okay, so this they have implemented it as a auto launched flow, guys. This can be yeah, here screen, sorry. This is the screen flow. Okay, whenever you are trying to create the some records, if already there is a matching record for the same with the same information, then you are going to display a screen, okay, saying that there is a matching record, or else create the record. Okay, like that you can just go through these examples, guys. Okay, if you are not able to understand any of the example, that's fine, we will discuss in the tomorrow's class, but please go through these examples. Okay, if you are able to understand all these examples, at least you will be in a position to express. Very, very, very important concept, guys. Flows is, it's, as a admin, flows is your heart. Sharing settings, flows, very, very, very important topics. Dashboards and reports. But dashboards and reports are not that much complicated topics. But sharing settings and flows are something like that. There is too much to learn, and these two are the pillars of the admins. Okay. With this, we are done with all our concepts, guys. Okay. Whatever concepts that we have learned, okay. Most of the I have shared the documents for most of the important concepts, guys. Maybe initially I haven't created a document because those were not okay. Okay. Sharing settings, you have document. Approval process, you have document. Reports and dashboards, you have document. Data management, you have document. Custom labels and custom settings, you have document. I think I would have submitted the document for relationships also. I think that is this one, SF Dev Notes. No. But if there is no document, what is this? This is just assignment. Yeah, this is just an assignment of validation rules. Okay. If there's no document that I can see with the relationships, guys, but please prepare one document for the relationships also. Okay, you can just listen our recordings and you can just prepare the notes of that and make sure that you should be in a position to explain all these things. Okay. In tomorrow's class, I will just show you um, how you can practice more on trial heads. So with this, you are done with learning all the basic concepts, guys, and basic scenarios. Okay. So now you can start. Tomorrow, I'll just show you how to where you can go and do your more practice as well as the preparing of the resumes. So you can prepare your resumes and simultaneously use that trial heads tool to practice. Okay, if you don't practice and if you sit ideal, obviously you will forget everything that you learned till today. So now you will be in a position to understand everything that you can see in the trial head, guys, because now you have a knowledge on each and every concept basically that is needed for the admin. Okay. So tomorrow's class, I'll just share some resumes and I'll just give you some tips how to explain about your resumes and what are the major things that you need to highlight your resumes. So half an hour will be on the resume section, guys, and half an hour will be I'll just give you the place where you can practice more on your different things. Okay, I mean different concepts. With that, uh, we will start with our interview attending process, guys. Okay. And this bridge is open always, even though after the classes is over, guys, don't worry. Whenever we have group, right? So whenever you feel something is required and something you want to discuss with me, just ping me a message on the WhatsApp group. We will have the classes till Saturday, guys. Okay. Tomorrow is resume and things. And the day after tomorrow is I'm going to share you more interview questions. Okay. These documents will help you to understand about the concepts. The interview questions document will help you to understand like what type of interview questions basically. If you are comfortable with the notes, then obviously you can attend most of the interview questions, but for your understanding more, I'll share the type of interview questions generally they will ask you and answers generally people used to give. Okay, that I'm going to share you on the Saturday's class. If you are interested, I will take some mock interviews on next week, guys. That is completely on your interest. Okay. If you said, okay, we have prepared well, we are ready for the mock interview, you can just text me a message, ma'am, I have prepared, I'm ready for the mock interview. Then I'll jump onto the Zoom and I'll take the interview. Okay. Yeah, that's it from my end today, guys. I'll upload the videos. I think I missed yesterday's video also, but I'll upload both the videos today. Okay. If you have any questions, we can discuss, or else please feel free to drop off.